How Chelsfield Village, Kent, pubs have changed 1982 to 2023. In the 1980s I was very concerned about the number of old buildings disappearing, so I photographed parts of Orpington, Kent and London to create a record. I mainly focused on listed and locally listed buildings, as well as anything else that was interesting or anything looked like it was about to be demolished. Well, pubs were interesting, and in these cases old, so I took photos in the early 1980s. The pubs were the Five Bells in the centre of Chelsfield Village, the Bo-peep near Hewitts farm, and the Rock and Fountain in Well Hill. Well, I've come back in 2023 to see what's happened. Incredibly, given the loss of so many pubs recently, 2 of the 3 are still trading. I'll cover location, some history and context, and have a good look at the 1980s photos. Please stay to the end for all the detail. I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching Eclectic Experience, change seen through images. Chelsfield is located here in Kent on the edge of the London Borough of Bromley. It is just off the A224, the Orpington bypass, and near the M25. I've done another 2 videos on Chelsfield, one on Chelsfield Village and another on Chelsfield Park Hotel, now a hospital, links at the end. Looking at Historic England's map, the Five Bells is here, the Rock and Fountain was here, both Grade 2 listed buildings, and the Bopeep is here, a locally listed building. Back in the 1980s, I went to all these pubs. They were seen as country pubs. Well, they were country pubs, even though they were so close to London, and from what I remember, sold the same beer, Courage, as the other nearby pubs in the more built-up areas. Starting with the Five Bells, situated in the centre of Chelsfield Village, seen here on the 1933 Ordnance Survey map. According to its website, it opened in 1668. To provide context and to get an idea of just how old the pub is, this is a list of monarchs from the present King Charles III going back to William I, William the Conqueror. 1668 puts the pub here in the time of King Charles II, just 2 years after the Great Fire of London in 1666. Interestingly, the pub got its name from the number of bells in the local church, St Martin à Tours. This upped the number of bells from 4 to 5, giving the pub the name the Five Bells. The church now has 8 bells, but the pub still retains its original name, and according to its website, the bell ringers still come to the pub for their post-bell ringing practice drink. Comparing the pictures from 1982 to 2023, the most obvious difference is the signage. Both the Courage sign, which is now gone, and the other signage, giving the name of the Five Bells. Interestingly, we can see how outside furniture has changed, as the bench in 1982 is totally different to the one in 2023. In 1982, the area in front of the park was just tarmac for parking, making use of beer barrels to mark the edge. Looking from a different angle in 1984, there was no significant change, but we do get a better look at the sign on the pole. Moving to 2023, the big change is there is a lot more outside seating. This has been a common change in pubs, especially since the recent pandemic, where most pubs increased outside seating capacity quite significantly, if they could. Moving to the signage, the Courage cockerel sign has gone, and the Five Bells name now appears differently both at the front and side, but the actual building itself is pretty much unchanged. The sign on top of the pole is essentially the same design, but has been redone in different colours, and the Courage cockerel has disappeared from the top. Moving to the Bopeep. The Bopeep is in the Kent countryside, but just about in the London Borough of Bromley and very close to Orpington, and is near the M25 junction 4. This is actually approaching the pub in 2023 from the M25 roundabout. According to its website, it was built in the year 1548 during the reign of King Edward VI, who was 1547 to 1553, although it would have been repaired and updated many times over the years. Seen here on the monarchs list, Edward VI was the boy king, son of Henry VIII, who only lived until he was 15. The Bo-peep was originally called the Seagraves Alehouse. Looking at the Ordnance Survey map of 1871, we can see the pub. Since 1709, it was actually called the White Hart, and it wasn't until the early 1970s that it was renamed the Bopeep, which it still is today. We can see the pub is just down the road from Hewitts farm, which again is still there today and is a popular pick your own farm. Going back to the 1984 photo to compare, there are a few differences. Interestingly, there was no signage from this view, and the area in front of the pub used to be grass. The only noticeable change to the building is that the windows have been replaced. Going to 2023, we can see the new windows. The grass has been replaced by outside seating and the flower planters have gone, but otherwise pretty much the same. The increase in outside seating is very much a reflection of the time, as we previously saw at the Five Bells. Looking at the other side of the pub in 1984, which I assume I photographed primarily because of the old pump. However, moving to 2023, we now actually can't see if the pump's still there, as there is now a fence. But other than that, the view is pretty much the same. It is a really nice old pub to visit. I can highly recommend it. The Rock and Fountain pub was here on Historic England's map. The building is a Grade 2 listed one. It's described in its listing as early 19th century building, and there's also two other listed buildings next to it, including the K6 phone kiosk and the house next door. If we look on the monarchs list, it's early 19th century, which will put it between George III and William IV, and at the end or just after the Napoleonic Wars. By 2023, it has long been shut and the pub converted to a private dwelling. The overall view is pretty similar to 1985. Looking in more detail from the 1985 photos, we can see the Courage sign, the pub sign on the post outside the pub, and the car park sign. These have all gone, but the prominent red phone box is still there. Interestingly, it is literally just over the border in Kent from the London Borough of Bromley, as we can see from the Well Hill sign. Chelsfield is a picturesque little village and it is well worth visiting the two remaining pubs. The link to my Chelsfield Village video is here, and the one on Chelsfield Park here. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, please click the like button. I'll be making more similar videos, so please like and subscribe for future releases. Links to more videos on how Kent and London have changed can be seen at the end. Thank you for watching Eclectic Experience, change seen through images.